Salman, look who I've got here. I've got Salman here. Salman, there's a lot going on in the boxing world. Um, Guys, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. Guys, I put up a Mayweather Pacquiao video. Smash the like button on that one as well. And let's get talking about this. Salman, I want to talk about a couple of issues in this video. Then we're going to do another separate video which we can discuss. Salman, Eddie Hearn. You know, I just want to tell you what issues I want to talk about. I want to talk about Canelo Alvarez. I want to talk about AJ. I want to talk about Dillian White. So, Salman, Canelo Alvarez, Eddie Hearn has said that he wants him to become undisputed at 175. He's not really that interested in the Makabu fight. What do you think Canelo Alvarez should do next? You know, he's the biggest star in the sport. Everybody knows that, and we want to see what his next moves are. Look, Bob Arum has recently said that, you know, Canelo will fight Joe Smith first. Joe Smith's name come out from nowhere, and then he'll look for a fight with Beterbiev. You know, we know that in order for him to become undisputed, look, there's Johnson and Smith fighting. The winner of that, Canelo may target. And then Beterbiev and then Bivol, obviously, are the three champions. Are you okay with Canelo fighting the weaker champion out of, you know, the three starting up if he has an ambition to unify?
Yeah, why not? As long as at the end of the day, he's going to fight all of them anyways, because I believe he beats all of them. The only way he's not going to fight all of them is if he loses or has a stumbling block, which I don't think. I think he'll beat all of them, to be honest.
Oh, without any problem?
I think so. I don't think any of them are better than him, to be honest. I think he's already fought harder, more skillful, more better guys than those guys already. So I think that, you know, he's way more experienced than those guys, for sure. He's been in there in more 50-50 fights. He's been in there with more skillful fighters. He's got more experience just overall, just being a pro. He's been a pro for 15 years.
Who's more skillful than Bivol?
Canelo.
No, that he's been in with. You said he's been in with more skillful.
Yeah, loads of fighters. Mayweather, Gennady Golovkin, Lara. Loads of fighters. Probably even Callum Smith. But from what I've seen of Bivol, I don't think he's...
Cotto,
loads of fighters. Look, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but he's been in there with, you know, Canelo's name's where Canelo is for a reason, because he's fought a lot of top guys. And, you know, I seen Bivol the other day. Wasn't impressed at all. He doesn't look anything special to me. I think he's going to I think Canelo will beat him quite comfortably, to be honest.
Knock him out?
I think so, yeah. I think Canelo's skill level is just on a different level to those guys.
You think all of those guys get knocked out against Canelo?
I think so, eventually. I think eventually he'll be... I just don't think those... Well, this is my opinion. They might step up to the plate, but from what I've seen so far, I think Canelo will knock them out, personally. I've not seen anything, you know, special where I would say that,
do you think the 175-pound division will be harder than the 168-pound division?
No, I think it'll be the same, to be honest.
Ooh.
I think it'll be the same. I don't think it's a very tough, stacked division. I think it was at one point, but not anymore. I think, like, for example, Beterbiev, which is probably the best guy out there. Well, people say he's the best guy at 175. He's got 100% knockout ratio, which no one in boxing has. But you've got to look at, you know, the competition is very weak at the minute for him. I think his hardest fight's been Marcus Brown.
No, Kovzik, I'd say Govzik, but he won that fight.
Or whatever. But the point is...
But he won that one.
Marcus Brown isn't Canelo. Like, there's levels and levels, like Canelo's levels and levels above. So if he's got cut and, you know, he was having... You know, if you're struggling there.
He got cut by a head, though. He never got cut through a punch.
I don't think Canelo is, you know, at the peak of his powers now, and I can't see him, Beterbiev, beating Canelo, to be honest. I just think Canelo's just way better than Beterbiev in every way. Skills are better, his head movement's better, his feet work's better.
But how's he going to deal with that pressure, that strength, that power of Beterbiev when Beterbiev's pushing him up, backing him up, trying to bully him?
I think that'll play into Canelo's hands. I think Canelo will just counter him all night long. I just think Canelo will pick him off all night, and I think Beterbiev could get knocked out if he tries to come forward too much. I just think he'll get, you know, Canelo will land one if he just keeps doing that. And you got to realize, I think Beterbiev will tire against Canelo. I don't think he's going to have that same energy that he did against Canelo than he did with Marcus Brown, because Canelo will bust him up to the body. He isn't going to have that same tank against Canelo, no way. And he'll slow down massively Beterbiev, because you've got to realize he's fighting someone that is just on a complete different level to what he's fought. And Canelo's very tough as well. He's not knocking Canelo out, no chance. He's not even going to hurt Canelo. So what's he going to do? Try fight on the inside? He's going to get hit with brutal body shots, and he's going to slow down massively. We've seen Canelo slow down against Golovkin.
Are you underselling Beterbiev there? Are you not giving Beterbiev his credit?
I just don't think I think he's good, but I don't think he beats Canelo though. Don't think he beats Canelo. I would even put it like this. I think Triple G would beat him as well if he was to move on.
Oh, that's a bit... Not now.
Yeah, but we don't know what now is. We have not seen him fight for so long. He could go in and knock the guy out in one round. Then what are we going to say? We don't know.
Nah, that not now. Maybe prime would maybe, but not now. Golovkin.
I wouldn't say maybe in the prime, but Golovkin was a really good fighter. You know, you don't beat Canelo if you're not a good fighter. In my opinion, he won that fight, the first fight. That was wide. That was well wide. It wasn't even close.
Nah, I think it was close.
I don't think it was close. I think it was at least 3-4 rounds to Golovkin, at least. Because Canelo didn't win any of the middle rounds. He might have won maybe 1 or 2 of the early rounds. But after that, Golovkin literally took over that fight completely.
Yeah, but that was years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah, but you ain't going to say Golovkin beats Beterbiev now. Golovkin, come on. People don't even think he beats Andrade or Charlo right now. What do you think? Do you think he beats Andrade and Charlo right now?
I think so, yeah. I think he beats Andrade for sure. I just think that pressure and ferociousness, I don't think Andrade can keep him off. I don't think he has enough to keep him off. If Canelo didn't have enough to keep him off, and even if it was 4 years ago, whatever, 5 years ago, right? Andrade isn't going to have enough to keep him off. Like, he's just going to keep walking forward, and eventually he's going to succumb like how everyone else did. Andrade isn't this Spartan guy where he's going to be able to absorb the punishment, and his legs will buckle against Golovkin and he's going to get knocked out. He'll go down, he'll get knocked out. If Golovkin lands one flush on his whiskers, he'll be out for the count. I'll be honest. That's just my opinion though. Because I don't think he's that stable. His legs are very weak. I've seen it, I've seen it against Williams. His legs are very weak. Like when he gets hurt, if someone can put it on him like how Golovkin would. Golovkin in his prime, that would be massacre against someone like Andrade. Andrade's a very silky boxer, very, cute, very good boxer. But the thing is, I don't think he's going to be able to take it when it comes to Golovkin. I don't know what you think about it. I don't think he can take it against somebody like a Golovkin.
Yeah, I favour Golovkin even now against him. I think Golovkin just hits too hard.
He could give Golovkin problem for 2-3 rounds, not going to lie. But I just don't think he can last 12 rounds. I just think eventually that sort of pressure and that sort of class, it's going to be curtains sooner or later. Maybe whether it's 7th round, 8th, he's gonna
he'll fold, much. I think.
Fold, yeah, 100%.
So your opinion is that Canelo Alvarez fights Joe Smith next. Just say Joe Smith beats Callum Johnson. How do you think that fight goes, by the way? Joe Smith
50-50 fight. But I think Joe Smith's probably, Callum Johnson's, although Joe Smith's quite old, isn't he? They're both quite old, but I'd probably favour Joe Smith, to be honest. I think he's got quick hands. I think he's probably better, but let's see. Callum Johnson can punch. Can he land one? Let's see.
All right. So if Canelo does fight Joe Smith, what happens?
I think Canelo beats those guys, to be honest. Joe Smith, Callum Smith, the lot.
Beterbiev,
all of them.
Canelo becomes undisputed at 175.
Yep. There's a very high possibility, unless he gets injured in one of the fights or something like his ankle goes, that's the only way. I cannot see him, if he's fully fit in all the fights, that he doesn't win them. I think he can win them. I'm being honest. I think he can genuinely win them. I don't see why he can't win them.
Salman, people have been talking crazy. They've been saying that Canelo should fight Usyk, or do you think that's just fantasy? It's a ridiculous fight.
I think that's unfair, to be honest, on Canelo. If it's a catch weight, and even then it's probably unfair to Canelo, because he's already come. You got to realise Canelo's first fight was at 140 pounds.
Was it? I thought it was 100.
No, 140 pounds. 140 pounds. So
That was a baby. He was a baby.
yeah, no, but still, he was 140 pounds. That's still crazy amounts of weight that he's had to, come up, and I don't think it's fair. Like, and plus, if Usyk fights him at cruiserweight, Usyk's just so much bigger, and he's going to be so much fluid at that weight compared to Canelo. Canelo's going to lose all of his advantages if he goes to that weight, because we're not talking a few pounds. This is a lot of kilos added, and that's going to slow a man down naturally. It's just because there's so much more added weight. So I think Canelo will lose what he's, what his advantages on. Usyk, will be. I think Usyk, if they were to fight at cruiser, I think Usyk would win, because he's too big, first of all, and he's got boxing ability. Two-time Olympic gold medalist. He's going to be fluid at the weight, and he's probably just going to run around and do his thing. And Canelo's going to be too heavy. He's going to lose his advantages, and I think Usyk would win that one at cruiserweight quite comfortably.
So, man, I want to go on to a different topic now. I want to talk about a comment that Teddy Atlas made about Anthony Joshua. I don't know if you've seen it. He says, I know you're a big Anthony Joshua fan, so I'm going to see how you react to this. Basically, he said that Teddy Atlas said that Anthony Joshua accepts defeat too easy. He's got too much money. He accepts defeat too easy. Do you understand that comment? Do you see where he's coming from?
He accepts defeat too easily?
Yeah. He's got too much money.
No, I don't really. What does he mean by that?
So, basically saying that, he gives up in a fight too easily. He's just made too much money. Like, he doesn't really have that heart. You know what I mean? What do you make of that?
Well, his last fight, he was just outclassed. Sometimes there's fighters that are just better than you. He showed heart. He was gone in that fight. Like, he was tired. He didn't have no energy. He had no stamina, but he still carried on. He didn't fall like. Well, I think he's hungry. I think he's training even for the rematch. I think he's up for it. He's training really hard from what I can see, but that obviously this is from what I can see. Whether that he's doing that for a front, I don't know.
Can he beat Usyk?
I don't think so. Not off that last performance, and I think this time Usyk will probably knock him out, because I think Anthony Joshua will come very, very aggressive, and I think it's not going to go past the halfway point, because I just think that if he can't get off what he wants to get off, I think he'll run out of ideas, run out of steam, and it'll be the end of it.
Do you think it's a case where Anthony Joshua might just have to go gung ho? So
yeah,
it's all or nothing.
Pretty much, yeah.
So basically, do you think
a bit how he did in the Klitschko 5th round? Just literally let the kitchen sink go. If it comes off, it comes off, type of thing. Just literally run at him and just let your hands go, like how he did in the in the Klitschko 5th round. Nothing was happening in the fight, and then he just randomly just switched the light bulb, and he just started going for it randomly. That's what he's going to have to do here, because he's not going to win on points. He's not going to win by boxing the guy. He needs to land something. He needs to knock him down. He needs to, he can't fight how he did last time. But the thing is, I think Joshua won't fight like how he did last time. He will
go for it.
Yeah, it's like he'll have learned. He's not going to do the same thing. I think he's too clever for that. He's not going to do the same thing he did last time. Although this time it's a lot harder, because it's not like, he's just going to outbox the guy.
Do you think if he does put it on Usyk, do you think Usyk will come through that? So do you think, if he just say Joshua puts it on him and gets aggressive like he did against Klitschko, do you think Usyk is clever?
Yeah, I think he can come through it. But then again, it just depends, what sort of punches land, how they land. Sometimes you just get hit with a punch out of nowhere. Yeah, and you can go down.
You know what I mean? You can get hit with a corker, and
exactly. Then you can be, he can go down. I don't think he'll get knocked out cold, because I think he's a tough guy, Usyk. I think Usyk will get up, but with the last fight, I just don't think there was many meaningful punches. He threw punches. Don't get me wrong. Joshua threw some good punches, but they didn't have that spite in them. They just weren't. It was like that he was looking to box. That's from what I saw. He's looking to box his way to a victory, and there wasn't no urgency there. His corner was telling him that, great job. It was clearly wrong advice, But I think this time it's going to be a totally different fight. I personally think it's not even going to go past the halfway point, because I personally think Usyk, from the last fight, obviously he's going to go in with a lot of confidence, and I think he'll probably be a bit more aggressive in the next fight. Personally. and it's gonna be a good fight. I tell you that. It's definitely gonna be a good fight.
So how do you see this one going? Do you think it's a case where Anthony Joshua throw the kitchen sink?
I think Anthony Joshua will throw the kitchen sink literally early, because that's when he's gonna have the most power and most stamina. And I think by round 6 he'll be completely shattered. That's what I think. Or not even by round 6, maybe round 4, 5, he'll be completely shattered and he'll just be a sitting duck, really. Anyone could knock him out. It's not even just about Usyk. I just think anyone would knock him out in that state. He's a sitting duck, like Ruiz knocked him out. And I just think any top heavyweight would finish him in that sort of state, because he's there for the taking. When he doesn't have stamina, he's a very easy, it's very easy then. When a guy doesn't have no stamina, he's just there for the taking. He's not throwing anything back, That's why he was like that. I don't know how Ruiz took 4 rounds to finish me off, because I was finished.
I think Usyk would have probably knocked him out in the first fight, but I think because Joshua wasn't really he was just boxing.
Yeah.
He wasn't really that tired. I think if Joshua actually goes for it, and I think that's why Joshua's been holding himself back in a lot of fights, because Joshua's realized that you can't get everyone out of there. And when the fight's at his pace, he's all right. Like, he was able to go 12 rounds with Usyk, because Usyk wasn't really putting that much pressure on him. But towards the end of the fight, he was tired anyway.
Yeah, Usyk was just doing, he was just doing what he needed to do to win, type of thing.
Yeah.
He wasn't really, only in the last round, you could see, was it the 11th round where I think it was the last round where he just where he got into a little bit of a rhythm and he just started going for it. But apart from that, there was a few glancing blows, but there wasn't anything where it was going to, knock Joshua down for the count. Do you know what I mean?
But I think what Joshua's going to do this time, I think he's probably going to have to. It's just that whether mentally he can get over that hurdle, because I feel like Joshua in the fights that I've seen, he's been holding himself back because he knows that there's a stamina issue. And when he lets his hands go, because of the way he's built, he's going to get tired. And after the Klitschko fight, I felt like he's been holding himself back. He doesn't really go gung-ho. He knows that there's a chance that he may lose, may end up, running out of stamina. So what Joshua does is holds himself back. The only problem is that in this fight, he can't box. So he's gonna have to.
I think his only best bet is if he tries to get the knockout himself. But yeah, in exchange, he's probably gonna get knocked out, because, as we said, there's gonna be too many rounds left. For him not to be able to recuperate. It's just too long.
Usyk keeps hitting you as well. It's not like Klitschko.
Yeah, no.
Like, he just continuously...
Mental pressure.
He keeps on you and he keeps hitting you as well.
He doesn't hit hard, like super hard, but he hits you, just keeps hitting you, and eventually you just wear down.
He keeps
stinging you, and it just wears you down.
Like, that's what he did with Tony Bellew. Like, Bellew started well, but then he kind of kept hitting him, and then eventually, especially if Joshua was tired, because then those shots take more of an effect. Look, I felt like he hurt him in the first fight a couple of times, but like you said, I don't really think he's got the kind of power where he's gonna wipe Joshua out. But he's got like, if Joshua's tired, then then obviously any punch can.
Joshua needs to fight with a bit more spite in this fight. He needs to fight with the spite that I need to hurt this guy. I need to brutally damage him. I just don't think in the last fight, to be honest, from what I've seen. Whether if it was, look, it'll be elements that he couldn't land, because obviously the guy's so slick in front of you. But I just think he was looking, even when you heard him in his interviews and stuff, he's like, oh, you got to be smart, this, that, the other. It's not the way you win these type of fights. These type of fights, you've got to be a bit more aggressive. You've got to put it on the person. You can't let the first 3, 4. I think he lost the first 3 rounds or whatever. I don't think he won any of the first 3 rounds, and you're giving rounds away like that. You can't fight like that. You've got to stamp your authority from the get-go. You can't let early rounds go. You've got to win the first 3 rounds. His mind should be that, I'm going to go for this guy early when I have the most power and hit him with something. Because if he does drop Usyk, right, and he can get, just say, maybe 1 knockdown, 2 knockdowns in the first 7, 8 rounds, naturally that fight will always, it's in the balance already, even if Usyk is outboxing you after. Because you've got the knockdowns, that even if you are down on points, those knockdowns will come into play. But he definitely needs knockdowns in this fight. He's not going to win it. And if he does knock him down, he needs to literally go crazy and literally take him out. Like, do something that he's never done before.
Do a Wilder.
Not a Wilder, but he's going to have to be more vicious than he's ever been if he does hurt him, because he cannot allow this guy back into the fight. There's no way you can allow someone like a Usyk back into the fight. If he hurts him, he needs to finish the job, and literally, he needs to look to obliterate him.
The problem is with Usyk, it just seems so difficult to hurt the guy. Like the guy took some shots in the first fight. He didn't really.
More glancing blows. They weren't like, you know, like a clean uppercut from like his head spun like 360 or anything like that. It was just glancing blows. Nothing. There was nothing landed there that was wow, crap. He took that type of thing. And from what I've seen, anyways, he got hit through the few right hands down the pipe, but I don't think they would have knocked like some of the top guys out, to be honest.
All right, guys, this is the first part to our video. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.